talking about graphing linear equations. And just quick for your warm-up, think about which way do you go first when graphing left and right or up and down. Remember, you go left and right first, and then you go up or down. Remember, you got to walk to the tree before you climb it. I've heard it said that way before. You've got to go along the ground and then climb a ladder. Something along those lines. You guys have probably heard this before. Just remember, you always go left and right before up and down, which means you take your x value before you do your y value. Now, a linear equation is an equation that forms a line when it's graphed, okay? I want you to go ahead and underline that statement right there. A linear equation is an equation that forms a line when it is graphed. Linear equations are often written in the form ax plus by equals c, okay? I don't agree with that statement. I don't think they're often written in that form, but this is called standard form, and it is important to understand what standard form is. C is the constant, or just a number, and notice it's constant because it doesn't have a variable with it. Ax and by are variable terms, and a has to be positive. So basically for standard form, we have it in ax plus by equals c. A and b both are not 0. And a has to be positive. Which means the number in front of x has to be positive. So basically, if you go to the end, a has to be positive. You can't have the number in front of x to be negative. And the last thing, the integers have to have a greatest common factor of 1. Okay, I'm not so concerned with that, but what that basically is saying is if I had like 2x plus 4y equals 8, then you should divide all these by 2 and have x plus 2y equals 4. Notice these would be the same things. Okay, but the bigger thing is that they all have to be integers, which means no fractions or decimals, which I'm sure all of you are rejoicing about. Okay, but you will have to make sure you don't have your final answer with any fractions in it. And we aren't going to write equations like this a lot, but the main thing the reason I think this is important is because it's good practice with what we just finished with last chapter with solving for certain variables. But now we're solving to get c by itself. And for a linear equation, here's just your 2 tests that you need to use. Everything's raised to the first power and no variables multiplied together. If these 2 things are true, then it's a linear equation. So go ahead and make sure you get these 2 things written down somewhere in your notes.